Welcome to another edition of Positively Douglasville. Today we are so excited to have one of our community partners, Miss Nicole Turner, and she works with Cobb Douglas Public Health. So welcome, Miss Turner.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, we're happy to have you. And she's so delightful. It's been just a blessing talking with you these few minutes before we get started with the interview. But we'll just talk a little bit about Cobb Public Health. If you can tell us what it is and what services you all provide.
Yeah, definitely. So Cobb and Douglas Public Health is Douglas County and Cobb County's local health department. So we offer a variety of different services. So from immunizations for kids going back to school, to WIC services, to hearing screens for newborns. We offer it all, and specifically me personally, I do more of the community health side of that. So I work with the Adolescent Health and Youth Development Department. So my job is to work with youth ages 10 to 19, and we do all kinds of things in my department. So we do sexual health education, we do healthy relationships education, physical activity and nutrition, e-cigarettes, tobacco, you name it, we're talking to your kids about it.
Oh my gosh, the tobacco and e-cigarettes. Oh my gosh. Now, do you do vaping? Have you all started that?
So I have a colleague who her expertise is tobacco and asthma, and I've been working with her a little bit on her e-cigarettes initiative with some of the high schools and things like that. She is my expert, but she's definitely working on combating that with our kids, and the debates that she gets in with those students, it cracks me up because she's just like, no, this is what it is. Regardless of what you hear, this is what it is. It's
because
true.
they think it's so innocent. They're like, oh, it's just free oxygen coming in.
Or it's just flavored air.
And I'm like, no, if God wanted you to have that air like that, He
would have put it out there for you.
Exactly. So,
absolutely.
Well, good. I'm glad they're getting educated about it. It's so very new.
Yes, it is. And it's just ever evolving, too. Yeah. It really is. I feel like we're just, once we get something under control, something else is new is popping up. So it's just constant juggling and keeping up to date with current trends. And it just keeps my job very exciting. I absolutely love it.
Good. Now, the e-cigarettes, are they, I know they're electronic. Do they have the same nicotine or something?
They do. They do. They have addictive qualities to them. But again, they have some of the same, negative side effects that cigarettes do. And that's actually one of the misconceptions, that people think it's a safe alternative, and it actually is not.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So interesting.
It is very interesting.
Wow. Wow. Now, the only cigarettes I had were when I was little. This is way before your time. We would buy these candy cigarettes, and they were like white and you blow. And
I actually remember those, believe it or not. I do. Yes. When I had them, they were like a really chalky candy.
Yes.
And I was like, why are people eating these?
And we would blow the little but anyway, those are safe. They can do that. Yes. But I don't want any e-cigarettes.
None of those e-cigarettes. or vaping. I mean, it's just crazy. It really is.
So now, do you all do the inspections for restaurants?
We do. So we have our environmental health department. They also do our inspections of not only restaurants, but tattoo parlors. They do community swimming pools to make sure they're up to code. So they're always busy out in the field doing all kinds of inspections.
Okay. Now, what's a good number to eat for a restaurant? If you see like an 80, you don't want to eat at an 80%.
Yes. I always joke. We always joke that the environmental health people, we kind of follow them around to the restaurants they eat at, because they know the spots to kind of eat at. So we're like, where are you guys going to lunch? Because that's where we're going to go.
Goodness.
Absolutely.
But you would shut the restaurants down, and I've seen that in the news in different counties. And what's the percentage? I
actually don't know the percentage, unfortunately. Like I said, I'm not too closely involved with environmental health, but I know that they get ample warning, and they actually know that they're coming in for inspections a lot of times. So when they get those grades, I'm kind of like, didn't you guys know they were coming?
Oh, gosh.
Yes, absolutely. But like I said, if you want to eat good, follow the environmental health people around.
Okay, so Ms. Turner, you have children from 10 to 18?
Yeah, so we work with youth in my department for adolescent health. We focus on youth ages 10 to 19 years old.
19. And what do you do about, did you say something about sexually transmitted?
Yes, so I specifically work on sexual health education. That's my expertise as well, actually, when I went to school to do. So I got my undergraduate from the University of South Carolina in public health.
Gamecocks.
Yes, ma'am, Gamecocks. Sorry, UGA fans. And then I went on to get my master's in health promotion and education, specifically looking into HIV education as well as sexual health education. So that is my expertise. So typically what we do in a lot of times is we'll go into schools, community organizations, faith-based organizations, and we'll actually host a sexual health education curriculum.
Oh, wow.
So we're it's amazing. So we'll educate our young people on how STDs and HIV are transmitted, ways to protect yourselves. And actually it goes into a lot more than just that, because sexual health is so much more than just disease.
That's right.
It's about knowing a healthy relationship when you see it, and also having self-esteem in yourself to make positive choices. So the curriculum really is amazing that we get to do.
Oh,
it's awesome.
That's great.
It really is. It's
so
fantastic.
Having positive self-esteem really
Absolutely.
helps, and that can prevent some of those other things
Yes.
that may be harmful to them in the future if they, value their bodies and know that it's a gift and all of that, and not
Absolutely.
to be to take something that someone deems as
Yes.
that's how they care about you, then it's really abusive and they
Absolutely. And you'd be surprised how many things that our young people think are healthy behaviors in relationships that actually aren't. Like, my boyfriend called me a million times, and I'm like, well, that may seem sweet, but actually if you think about it, it's kind of possessive. And so when you unveil those layers to students, they're kind of like, oh my gosh, I actually never saw it from that perspective. So that's one of the things I love about my job, is just seeing that light bulb go off in their minds. They're like, well, maybe I need to rethink my decisions going forward.
Good.
Love
Very
it.
good.
Yes.
Now earlier today, we had the faith-based community. We have once a quarter. We host them in the city of Douglasville, and our speaker was from Straight Street Ministries.
Oh, wow.
And she talked about sex trafficking and all of that, and how it was just eye-opening. I mean, it pierced my heart too.
It does.
But it really helped me to understand, how social media plays such a part, or people in school, or oh my gosh, just to have them in that cycle that
it's true.
They, a lot of times not unknowingly,
they
think they're meeting a 15-year-old girl and it's a 40-year-old man.
I know.
So it's so scary.
I know, and just all the methods. One of our partners actually is with Georgia Cares, and just some of the things that I hear in the presentations they give of the ways that these traffickers are contacting these students through Craigslist ads, social media posting, and then even recruiting youth to recruit other youth. This is a boy that I like, and he's paying attention to me, and he takes me out on this date, and then all of a sudden it's a sex trafficking situation. You have absolutely no idea. It's just they're getting so creative, and the fact that in Atlanta we have like one of the #1 hubs in the U.S. I mean, it's something that our young people need to be aware of, and they may not think it could happen to them, but absolutely it can.
Wow. So all of your education will really help that situation, combat it, hopefully.
Yes,
that it will
absolutely.
continue to grow.
We think that it begins with awareness first. If youth are aware of the situation and how things can possibly unveil from, simple things that seem harmless, being aware and being able to understand how these things progress is the first step to making change.
Wow. Very good. Well, thank you. You're so pleasant. I know they
Thank
love
you.
to hear the information from you.
I appreciate
Such a
it.
beautiful smiley
Thank
face.
you.
So talk to us. Is there a cost to this information that you go into the schools and church-based and faith-based facilities to talk to youth about?
Yeah, so actually with my program there is no cost. I will go into different schools. So for example, I actually offer a program that's the Personal Responsibility Education Program, which is my sex ed program. And in fact, I actually will give people a stipend for hosting me at their site. So in fact, these organizations can get funding just for having me come in and do these curriculums with their young people. And we do all kinds of things. They get nice diplomas when they graduate. They get some snacks and incentives. So it really is a great program for those partners who do want to get involved. And anyone who I've worked with in the past has had nothing but great reviews about the educational efforts that we're doing within the community.
Wow, very good. And that age that you start is right coming out of elementary school to middle school. And that's a really pivotal time for awareness, because I think they're so innocent.
They are.
And they come in and they may be exposed to some other things that they're not prepared for.
Yes.
Like oral sex is,
It is. And I mean, it's true. And half the battle is just getting them comfortable with the terminology and even knowing what those things are. I mean, there's so many times that they're not even familiar with the terminology or even their own bodies. I mean, I've worked with some high schoolers who I have to go back through puberty with them just to explain to them what's even happening with their body and why they're feeling the way that they do. And then progress into now that you understand, let's talk about, how these feelings can impact your health and your decision making.
Wow. That is just phenomenal.
Yes.
I'm glad there's another person that can kind of like community and support. It takes a village to help children.
It does.
And sometimes parents, if they're not as comfortable talking to mom or dad or a grandparent about that, there's someone in the community that can open up those avenues for communication, which is great.
Absolutely. And I'm your girl.
Oh, good.
Absolutely.
Very good. So there isn't a cost.
No cost.
So how do people get information? To make appointments maybe? So that you can come in and help support and educate and make people aware of your services and just to help those young people.
Yeah, so if they need any services from Cobb and Douglas Public Health, they can call any one of our health departments. We have locations in Marietta, Douglasville, Austell, Smyrna, Ackworth. If they can call any one of those locations, then we'll refer them to the correct department. So for my particular program, if a mom or a parent needs any information about e-cigarettes or sex trafficking or cyberbullying, they can just call and ask.
Cyberbullying.
Yes, cyberbullying.
Talk to me about that a little
Yes,
bit.
absolutely. I mean, just it's an epidemic. It really is. The kids have their phones with them 24/7, and they film everything, and they share everything, and they just don't think about the negative impacts that these things can have on their fellow peers. And I mean, back in the day, I know when I went to school, I mean, social media was just starting out. So I know I was kind of before that wave really hit. So if bullying happened to me, I went to school, I came home, and that was it. Now these kids just can't escape it. They go to school and get bullied. They go home and get bullied. They turn on their computers, their phones, and they're just constantly getting bullied. It's constant bombardment. So it's something that we're definitely trying to address in our department as well.
Wow, and it's very serious.
It is. It really is.
Like you were saying, it was starting with you for social media when you were in school. I'm an old school OG, so I didn't have all of that. Like you said, it was the neighbor down the street, or someone at school, and you would kind of. It was something that ended.
Yes, it did.
Because you were able to go to the point and deal with it. But with social media, it goes everywhere, and it can end. It's endless. To go layers and layers, and you just don't know who it's going to. And that person, once you think you've addressed it, it can start back all over again.
And so many youth think, like, for example, Snapchat's a huge app. They think, I send a Snapchat and it disappears. I'm like, but it doesn't. It doesn't.
They can get it back.
Or my account's private, but it isn't.
I know. and we try to tell my husband's like, he has this whole thing. There's an algorithm to this, and he's telling our girls, and they're just staring. And
like,
so
what?
I know it's crazy. And he said, which. This is, I'm not going to say it's a man's thing, but he's just finite or whatever. He said, turn your phone off.
That's my husband too. Why do you even have the phone?
Just turn the phone off. I'm like, they're going to have to eventually turn the phone back on.
It's true. And it'll just bombard you when you come in. In fact, it might be worse because you'll wake up to 30 text messages versus 2 or 3.
I know. Isn't that terrible?
It is. It really is. And like I said, it's heartbreaking because, I mean, you really just can't escape it. And it's just one of those things where one of the things that we work on is just, like I said, raising awareness to how severe these things are, how you think something is so innocent, and really truthfully it could be someone's, breaking point, and you just don't know. You never know what someone's going through. So don't ever assume that you think you know. And think before you post and how it'd make you feel if someone posted something like that about you, how you think it would impact your life. So
good. So that's the advice you would give a young person, because I know I've had it, my son, my baby daughter. And really, one was a lie, or and they just kept building, and we tried to go back to the parents and say, could you please have your son apologize? But still, how do you coach or counsel the young people to
definitely, like I said, most of it is just raising awareness about the issue, making young people aware that the world does exist beyond your phone, and just to be reminded of what you post and how severe it can be to other students and other people that you are come in contact with. And like I said, something that you think is private is not always private. And so one of the things that we address actually through our, which we'll talk about in a minute, our Power and Truth Conference, is those cyberbullying things. And like I said, we have experts who are in the industry come in and just explain to youth how detrimental these practices can be. And like I said, sometimes youth just don't even think about it. They really is. And like I said, it's just those light bulbs going off, just to come outside of yourself and realize there is a world besides my cell phone and what I think is important, or what I think is not going to hurt someone's feelings, and just to be mindful. I think we've lost touch with that. I think we've lost touch of communication, and we've become involved in what's going on right in front of us, and we have again begun to lose touch and basing with what other people are thinking, what other people are feeling, and our young people just need that awakening sometimes to kind of make those better decisions.
Well, good. I'm glad you're making a difference.
Thank
and so
you.
That's a great segue into the Power and Truth Conference. Talk to us about what that is. I went last year. It was at Douglas County High School. In the field, in the football field. Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. So talk to us about that.
So our Power and Truth Conference is, we host it every year. We're going on the 19th annual year of this conference.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. So it's incredible. Like I said, we've been impacting teens in Douglas County for 19 years. So it's something really truly that we're celebrating. We host it every year at First Baptist Church in Douglasville. And we have about 400 to 500 Douglas County middle and high schools attend this event each and every year.
Wow.
Yes. So it's great.
Oh, so I didn't go to the Power and
You might
Truth.
not have. It might have been something something maybe, I know a couple of schools are starting to do things like Power and Truth. Like I know I went to an event at Lithia Springs High School. It was called Life Application Day. And it was something similar to Power and Truth, like a little mini version of it. But this is a much larger event that we're doing in Douglas County with it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So this one was at the high school. It was like a concert. It was Christian.
It might have, yeah, I'm not sure what that one might have been.
Alexander, Douglas County High.
Oh, wow.
They were all over. It was wonderful.
That is crazy. I actually haven't heard of that. I need to get involved with that one.
I'll ask Pastor John Citizen.
Let me know, because that's something I should probably go to.
Yeah. So anyway, tell us about First Baptist. Great community park.
It is, and their church is beautiful. Like
it certainly is.
They host us every year. They're the most gracious hosts. They go above and beyond for us each and every year. But like I said, they have the capacity, thankfully, to host the 400 to 500 kids that we have every year that come to this conference. And like I said, they do come from the Douglas County middle and high schools.
Okay.
So at its inception, Power and Truth actually was a branch off of Red Ribbon Week, which is the national Stay Drug-Free campaign. So Douglas County kind of took it upon themselves to kind of build off of that initiative and decide, our young people need to be educated, and we need to educate them on alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. However, as Power and Truth has now come on to its 19th year, conference 19 years. Conference developers have realized there are so many more things that are plaguing our teens other than just alcohol, tobacco, and other drugs. So Power and Truth has now evolved into a fully encompassing youth development opportunity, which is super exciting. So like I said, it's a full day event. The kids are bussed in from the Douglas County school system. They are there from 9 o'clock in the morning until 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It's during school?
It's during school.
Oh, that's good.
It is during school.
They get a chance to get some other education for life that's going to help impact them for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
Oh, wow. Outside of the book in the classroom.
Yes, absolutely. And it's it's a full-fledged day. I mean, we have educational sessions, which I'll get into a little bit. We have an amazing keynote speaker each and every year who addresses the conference in its entirety. We offer them food. We give them free Chick-fil-A, which is also a huge selling point. And then we have a great end-of-day wrap-up where we just kind of recap all of the great things that the kids learned that day, just to make sure they're taking that knowledge home with them. And like I said, the students who come, the faculty who come, the community members who come have nothing but great things to say about it.
Very good.
Yes.
So tell us some of the classes you were going to say. You were getting into the topics.
Yeah, absolutely. So we offer a variety of educational sessions that our students are able to attend when they come to Power and Truth. So it's about 14 educational sessions.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
How many days?
So it's a one-day event.
Oh, you do all this in a day?
Yes. So typically, it's a busy day. So typically what we do is we have, like I said, representative groups from each middle and high school that come in. And we want to make sure that each school has an extensive amount of education and information that's given to them. So the students are randomly assigned to breakout sessions, and they kind of serve as the almost ambassador of that class to bring that information back to their school.
Oh, good.
Yes. So like I said, we do typically cover topics that cover that core of the inspiration for Power and Truth. So we always have an alcohol, tobacco, or some sort of drug conversation going on. But again, we wanted to expand the event as well. So a couple of ways we pick our topics is we consult a lot of databases and surveys from the national and state level. So we look at Cobb and Douglas's community health assessment for inspiration for our sessions. We look at the Georgia Student Health Survey to look for some data behind what we need to cover at this conference. We look at the CDC's youth risk behavior surveillance system for national trends regarding those conference choices. And as well, we want to make them Georgia relevant. So for example, we had a texting and driving session last year because that new law just passed in Georgia. And so we wanted our students to be aware of, one, this law is coming into play, and then we wanted to explain to them why it's coming into play. So what a lot of teens don't know is that annually 2,800 U.S. teens die in crashes that are related to distracted driving, which is, yes, that's the equivalent of a school bus load of teenagers crashing once a week for an entire school year.
Oh my gosh, that's terrible.
It's horrible. And like I said, it's impacting our teens, and so we want to make them aware of the severity of, picking up that phone and why it's so important for you to just leave it while you're driving, especially around Atlanta with the crazy traffic.
That's right.
Absolutely. And then, again, human trafficking, we just talked about that. Atlanta is one of the, if not the biggest hub in the U.S. for human trafficking. And again, most people don't know this, but more than 90% of domestic minor sex trafficking victims in Georgia were enrolled in school during the time of their exploitation. So a lot of students, 90%, more than 90% of them. Gosh. I know. And again, these teens are like, oh, it can never happen to me. But in fact, Power and Truth, what it's doing is it's raising awareness to the fact that not only can it happen to you, it is happening here, and it could be happening in your own backyard, and you just aren't aware of it. And then finally, the way we pick our classes is we want to hear what the students want to hear. So with Power and Truth, at the end of the day, we offer a survey or an evaluation of the conference because we want to know, did you enjoy it? Did you learn something? And there's always a spot on the survey where we say, what do you want to know?
Yeah.
And I personally go through all 500 of those evaluations.
Are you serious?
Yes, I do.
Oh my God.
Because I want to hear my young people.
Newborn. You can't be going through.
I know, I do.
I mean,
he's a 1-year-old. He might as well be a newborn.
Yeah.
He keeps me busy. But I want to hear what my young people are telling me. I want to make sure that the conference that we're providing to them is what they want. So I go through those surveys. I look at what those kids want to hear, and those play very big factors into the 14 sessions that we develop each year and have at the conference. And to make it even more incredible for Power and Truth, it's a 100% community-sponsored event. So the community members who come in from Douglas County are experts in their fields, and they donate their time from their professional lives to come in and educate these students.
Say that again.
Yes, they donate their time as professionals.
What great volunteers.
It's
love
amazing.
This community.
It is. I mean, Douglas County, I mean, this is a Douglas County event. It just goes above and beyond. I mean, like I said, the professionals who come in are just, they're people who come every year and donate their time. I know, for example, the Douglas County Sheriff's Office always does our drugs. Jesse Hambrick's a great partner. He comes in and does all of our drug sessions. He's amazing. And like I said, we just have so many people who come in and offer their expertise completely free of charge for our kids.
Wow. Now, how do you choose the children or the young people?
Yes.
Are they recommended from the school system, or do you choose like 20 from each high school and 10 from each middle school? Or how does that happen?
So typically how it works is Douglas County is huge. So we have, like I said, I think 5 high schools and like 8 middle schools. And so we have what we call our school advisors. So those are volunteers from each respective school that serve as our point of contact for all things Power and Truth.
Okay.
So they're the ones who almost serve as the chaperones for those students. So they actually have a play and a hand in selecting those students. So the criteria in which students are picked varies from school to school, but predominantly it's whether the student has some leadership capabilities. So maybe they're involved in student council, or maybe they're involved in beta club, whatever the case may be. Sometimes teachers select students because they express interest. They say, Miss Jones, I want to go to Power and Truth. I feel like I could really benefit from it.
Right.
And then sometimes teachers handpick those students they feel could really benefit from the information. Those they say, you really need to come to Power and Truth and get educated and understand the decisions that you're making right now may not lead to the best outcomes in life, and this conference is going to teach you why that is the case.
Very good.
So those are predominantly the ways our students are selected to come.
Oh, good. Now, when is it going to take place?
Absolutely. So it's going to actually be in October. It's always held mid-October, right around when Red Ribbon Week occurs, because it's kind of like the inspiration for that conference. So we always want to keep our roots from its inception around that time. So it's going to be actually this year, October 22nd, at First Baptist Church.
I remember. I remember that date. That's
I was going to say, please come out and see us.
I would love to.
It's great.
I have to make sure that I remember and put that on my calendar to come out and address the students and tell them that I'm proud of them.
Yes.
For really participating, and all the volunteers and you. Thank you so much. It makes a difference in our community when people care and give back.
And that's a point too. I mean, our volunteers and our sponsorship from Douglas County, like I said, we would not be able to do what we do at this Power and Truth Conference, if I cannot stress it enough, if it were not for Douglas County community members, whether it's their volunteering to come out. We have volunteers who have been coming out for years to this event and donating their time and being so involved, whether it's just being involved with helping kids with lunch, or serving as session assistants to help our facilitators. I mean, we cannot do what we do without our volunteers. And then even more so, like I said, Power and Truth is a 100% community-sponsored event. So all organizations in Douglas County and at the state level, so like Georgia Department of Public Health, WellStar, local organizations like Greystone Power, other nonprofits, they all donate funding to this event for us to put it on.
Wonderful.
So without them, we wouldn't even have the funds to be able to do this event. So again, this is really Douglas County taking a vested interest in their youth and ensuring that there's a bright future for Douglas County when they do and get involved in this.
Very good.
It's amazing.
Very good. Now, is there any one message you want to take to the community for us to kind of put in our hearts to think about Power and Truth? We're going to be praying, but I know it's the difference between church and state, but this is just for for the entire community. Is there something that you want us to kind of make aware, put the word out for people, or what do you want us to?
Not only put the word out, but just be aware that this event is going on. It's been going on for 19 years in Douglas County, and it's just an incredible event. And just for the community to understand that an investment in Power and Truth is not only an investment in your students and your youth, but an investment in the overall future of Douglas County to ensure that it's, you know, it's a bright horizon for the future decision makers of our, you know, they're the ones who are going to be taking care of me when I'm old. I want to make sure they're making the best decisions possible. So an investment in power and truth is an investment in Douglas County.
That's right. And we do have a remnant of young people that want to do the right thing.
Yes, we do.
And that's really good. So you have a lot of hats you're wearing.
I do.
But it's all about young people.
It is.
So you have your Cobb Douglas Public Health hat,
Yes.
your Power and Truth hat, and you have a mommy hat.
My mommy hat.
Talk to me about your little man.
Yes, my little man. He is 1 year old. He is my only baby right now.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I love it. I love being a mom. I have definitely adjusted to it. It makes my heart so full. And again, he is the inspiration because I know eventually he's going to be a little teenager making these decisions, and I want to make sure, like I said, that I'm blazing a path for him to come up behind these kids that is going to be one of promise, empowerment, and education so that he can make the most informative decisions possible.
Very good. Very
Yes.
good. Well, you seem to be doing it all well. You
Thank
balance
you.
everything. Is he sleeping through the night?
He is.
He's a good
He's
baby.
finally started sleeping through the night, so mommy gets some sleep now.
Wow. He's touching everything, trying to
He
stand up and walk.
is. He's trying to walk. My husband and I are joking because we think he's a faker. My husband said he dropped him off at daycare and saw him take 2 steps, and then he looked at him and sat down. He's like, he could walk. He's faking us.
So cute. He wants someone to hold him.
Yes.
He's getting prepared maybe for his little sister that's coming.
Maybe. That's what everyone keeps telling me.
Well, it's been a delight to speak with
It
you
has
today. And thank you so much.
Yes, thank you
for
so
giving
much.
your time and your heart. And really, it's a ministry, even in public health, to really speak to our young people and to be so beautiful and bright and happy about it is a blessing. Some people do things, it's their job, and you can tell.
It's
but
true.
This is your passion.
It is. It really is. And again, thank you so much, Mayor Robinson, for sitting down with me, and City TV 22 for hosting me. And again, if anybody wants to get involved in Power and Truth, they can just reach out to me at Cobb and Douglas Public Health for Adolescent Health and Youth Development and just ask for Nicole Turner. And I'd be happy to get them involved in our event.
Oh, thank you so much, Ms. Turner. You're a blessing.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. This has been another edition of Positively Douglasville. God bless you. Have a wonderful day.